Introduction. I wrote this book because I want to help save families. A happy family is good for children, parents, and our society at large. Yet in the United States, far too many families are broken. There are many reasons for this situation, but financial stress is, without question, one of, if not the leading cause of family chaos. If I can play a small part in keeping families intact, I will have been successful in writing this book. While I can't speak with authority on coping with addictions, wayward spouses, or rebelling children, I can about financial planning. Since 1998, I've helped many families simplify their financial lives, save cash, get out of debt, and ultimately breathe easier, knowing that they are getting their financial house in order. As a professional financial planner, I definitely speak with experience, but more importantly, I speak from personal experience. Around 1979, when I was 9 years old, my dad had just landed his first good job, and for a few months, it seemed that we finally had some financial stability. Up to that point, we'd had none, and my folks fought all the time about money. I would rather have been anywhere than at home during these arguments. With my dad's new job, it seemed we finally had our break. Everything would be all right. Then just like that, a few months after my dad landed that job, my folks split up. I suppose the burden of all the years of financial stress took its toll. But I asked myself, why now? After all we'd been through, now, when things were finally looking up, you're going to split? I simply could not believe it. So my mom and 3 kids, of whom I was the oldest, were left to fend for ourselves. I remember friends laughing when I used orange and purple money to buy stuff at the store for my mom. "What kind of money is that?" they asked mockingly. This was well before the days of EBT cards. Back then, people could actually see you were on food stamps. Powdered milk? Yup. Being separated from your friends in the school lunch line because we got free lunches? That was us. I remember my mom being unable to pay the bills, so our gas was cut off. We had to live with neighbors or freeze to death during brutal Maine winters. I became a very angry kid, and this anger flowed into adulthood. But for the grace of God, things could and probably should have turned out very badly. A stint in the army, quitting alcohol, finding a loving wife, and most importantly, discovering that I am loved by the Lord made all the difference. But I shudder to think what my life might have been if these good things hadn't happened. Stories like mine are not unique. Throughout our country, kids are raised in poverty. Poverty can lead to bitterness, resentment, and anger. When you feel you've been slighted by life's lottery, it is seductive to become angry. Being angry does nobody any good and is not a place God wants for us either. The more anger, the less love. Financial stress is one of the leading causes of divorce. Single-parent homes are the most predictable variable for poverty. Poverty leads many to despair. Thus, logic says that if we can reduce financial stress, we can reduce the likelihood of married couples divorcing, which in turn creates less poverty and ultimately leads to less despair, which may lead to more happiness in the family unit. Now, don't misunderstand. There certainly are many wealthy children who've been sucked into the scourge of anger and resentment. Just look at most of the leaders of communist or socialist revolutions. Many of those revolutionaries were from upper middle class, if not outright wealthy families. I'm ignorant about what causes a wealthy kid to become angry, but I am experienced in what causes a poor kid to get bitter. From both personal and professional experience, I know financial stress can lead to broken families, which can lead to broken lives. Maybe you can learn a couple of things from my personal experience and also from my experience as a professional financial planner. If you can take just one thing from this book to better your financial situation, man, oh man, I will have done my job. Josh Scandlin, February 2018.